There are places in this world that make you stop whatever it is you are doing. And places that make you wonder if you've somehow stepped into a dream, like tiny village, tucked between towering cliffs and an impossibly still lake. Hidden in the heart of the Austrian Alps, Hallstatt or Hallstatt is that place which makes you question if you've somehow wandered into a postcard. And in the month of February, with the snow-draped mountains and the crisp, quiet air, it feels even more surreal. It is 4 degrees Celsius outside, so bundle up, because we're about to explore one of the most magical towns on Earth. And trust me when I say this, you've probably never seen anything like this. Alright, let's set the scene. We've just stepped out near Obertraun, and the first thing that hits us? Well, it was actually silence. Not the awkward kind, but the peaceful kind. Hallstatt isn't just about scenery, but it's also about stories. Salt miners and emperors, ancient civilizations, and modern-day fairy tales. But first of all, just look at this. Have you ever seen anything so perfect? The lake is so still, it's basically nature's Photoshop. No filters are needed, and even if I tried to paint this, people would say it looks fake. Jokes aside, there's something about standing here that makes you feel small, but in the best way possible. Our first challenge is finding a parking lot. Luckily, we found a spot at Parkplatz P2, which is pretty central. If you're visiting, try to get here early, especially during peak seasons. Otherwise, you might end up parking somewhere in another postal code. It is now time for the first real adventure. Heading up the Salzwelten funicular for an even better view of this magical place. If you think Hallstatt is beautiful from the ground, just wait until you see it from above. This is the Salzwelten funicular, and it is a high-tech and very efficient ride that takes you up the mountain in about 3 minutes. And let me tell you, it's the easiest way to get that hiking to the top of the Alps feeling without actually, hiking to the top of the Alps. The view is the best part, and it just keeps getting better the higher we go. This railway dates back over a century, and the original line opened in 1898. Have you ever seen anything like it? It's like a real-life painting, but with extra crisp air and a 100% chance of your jaw dropping. You might be wondering, why is there a funicular in Hallstatt? This was actually built for salt miners over 100 years ago, because Hallstatt is home to the oldest salt mine in the world. They've been digging up salt here for over 7,000 years. And that's probably longer than the pyramids have been standing. Who here loves heights? Because let me tell you, standing on this thing, looking straight down, it's a humbling experience. At the top, there is a skywalk, the Hallstatt Skywalk stands, and you're at an elevation of 360 meters above the town. That means you're standing literally on the edge of a mountain, floating above one of the most picturesque towns in the world. From up here, Hallstatt looks like a tiny dollhouse. The lake stretches like a mirror reflecting the Alps, and on a clear day, you can see all the way to Obertraun and beyond. The Dachstein mountain range, which you can see in the background, has peaks reaching over 2,995 meters. From this height, you can see why Hallstatt is often called one of the most beautiful villages in the world. Honestly, I could stay up here forever. But there's one more thing to do before we continue, and that is to have lunch. Being this impressed by nature does make you very hungry after all, and welcome to Rudolfstrom, a restaurant with a view so good, even the food has trouble competing. We stepped out onto the viewing terrace, which is located next to the restaurant, and it is a wooden platform extending outwards, offering a sweeping view of Hallstatt See below. It is called the Hallstatt Skywalk, and it is a sleek, triangular platform jutting out over the cliff. They call this the World Heritage view, and it's literally like standing on top of a postcard. And it is so dramatic that even people with zero fear of heights will feel their knees wobble a little. 360 meters straight up, nothing but mountains and water in every direction. But don't worry, because the skywalk is solid and it's not moving. Maybe, the only thing wobbly is probably your legs. Time to head toward the salt mines. And there is a fair bit of walking to reach it, and part of it is uphill. Along the way, you'll see little huts, transformed into museums. And they tell the story of how ancient people lived, worked, and even buried their dead right here on this mountain. That's an actual human skeleton. And it's not some medieval tourist trap, because this is a prehistoric burial site. We were this close to continuing the journey all the way to the mine, but honestly, between the crisp mountain air, the crunch of snow beneath our shoes, and the sun slowly dipping toward the horizon, we realized we need to get back to town before it gets dark. Anyway, the mines will be closed by the time we reached there. So, remember that, when you are visiting Hallstatt, do visit the mines first, and then have your lunch afterwards. So, change of plans. Instead of going underground into the mine, we're heading back down to the town. But hey, at least we still got to see some 7,000-year-old history, right? Since we are on the subject, let's talk history for a second. Hallstatt has got some serious historical weight. And this place has been around since the Iron Age. People here have been living by the lake for thousands of years, building homes on stilts over the water. Salt made Hallstatt incredibly rich, and that wealth is why it became one of the most important settlements in ancient Europe. But let's be real, today, people come here more for the cozy cafes, charming shops, and that fairytale ambience rather than the history lesson. Let's put things into perspective. Hallstatt may be one of the most famous villages in the world, but size-wise? Well, it's tiny. Like, you could probably walk from one end to the other in 30 minutes tiny. This whole town is home to only about 750 people. That's smaller than most high schools, but don't let its size fool you, because Hallstatt packs centuries of history, jaw-dropping views, and a whole lot of charm into a very small space. So, where is Hallstatt exactly? Well, it's in Upper Austria, in a region called Salzkammergut, which translates to estate of the salt chamber, because of the huge salt deposits here. This beautiful swan in the lake marks one side of town, and from there, we will walk to the other side of town, where you can get one of the best picture-perfect view of Hallstatt. The town sits on the western shore of Lake Hallstatt, and it's about 75 kilometers from Salzburg and 290 kilometers from Vienna. Talking about Vienna, I am going to bring you there, and it's going to be a very long and incredible video, so remember to subscribe to our channel if you do not want to miss it. Following the Seestraße, which, as the name suggests, is the road by the lake. To our right is the Hallstätter See, looking like a mirror, especially on a still day. And to our left are gorgeous Alpine homes and inns, their wooden balconies overflowing with flowers, and even in winter, you'll see little bursts of color from evergreens and dried blooms. This stunning alpine lake is about 8 kilometers long, 2 kilometers wide, and plunges to a depth of around 125 meters at its deepest point. And that's deeper than a 40-story building. So, just imagine what's lurking at the bottom. Some of these houses are over 300 years old. And because space is super limited, you'll notice a lot of them are built practically on top of each other, climbing up the steep mountainside. You'll also see adorable little alleys tucked between buildings. And some so narrow, you could probably stretch your arms and touch both sides. And these tiny pathways lead to hidden courtyards, secret gardens, and staircases going who knows where. Seestraße is actually really narrow, and there's no sidewalk, so be ready to share the space with cars, cyclists, and fellow travelers trying to get that perfect shot. Now, a lot of people ask if you can swim here, and the answer is yes. But, be warned, as this is an alpine lake, meaning the water is freezing even in the summer. There are small swimming areas, especially in Obertraun, where the water is a bit more accessible. Hallstatt had a red carpet street, it would be Seestraße. And this is the most beautiful walk in town. You're not going to find a shopping mall or fancy designer stores here, because this is all about small, family-run shops, local artisans, and those one-of-a-kind souvenirs you'll never find anywhere else. Hallstatt is known for its handcrafted ceramics, so, if you're looking for something beautiful and actually useful, a hand-painted plate or mug makes a perfect keepsake. As we keep walking, the road starts to open up, and we're on our way to Marktplatz, the beating heart of Hallstatt. And along the way, let's just take a moment to appreciate this walk and what it offers. Seestraße or Lake Street provides gorgeous views, and, because Hallstatt is so tiny, this is actually one of the only roads in the village that runs parallel to the water. The village and the lake are gorgeous year-round. And in summer, you get bright blue water, lush green forests, and long, warm days. In winter, the whole place transforms into an icy wonderland, with snow-covered peaks and mist rising off the lake. And here it is, Marktplatz, also known as the coziest, most photogenic town square in Austria. This square is over 500 years old. It's been the center of town life, trade, and celebrations since the Middle Ages. Now, if you've ever Googled Hallstatt, chances are you've seen this church, as it is the one with the elegant steeple, sitting right by the lake. This is the Hallstatt Protestant Church, and it's one of Hallstatt's most famous landmarks. Walk with me and I'll bring you to the famous viewpoint where most of the internet photos of Hallstatt are taken from, and from there you will easily recognize this church as well. Hallstatt has only 2 churches. The other one is the parish church of the Assumption of Mary, a beautiful stone church overlooking the square, and you just saw it in the background. We're making our way up to one of the best viewpoints in Hallstatt. But before we get too excited, let's remember one important thing, because this is a residential area. People actually live here, and it's only fair that we respect their peace and quiet. And I know that it's hard not to freak out over how cute everything looks, because these traditional Austrian Alpine homes have been standing here for generations, and you can just imagine what life must be like waking up to these views every day. Along the way we also passed by the charnel house. And inside there are over 600 human skulls, all carefully arranged and some even painted with names and floral designs. You've seen photos of Hallstatt before. Maybe even 1,000,000 times. But trust me, because nothing prepares you for seeing it in real life. This village is only about 1 kilometer long, squeezed between the lake and the Dachstein Mountains. And yet, somehow, millions of people from all over the world come here every year. Standing here, you can almost feel how old this place is. Hallstatt has been around for over 7,000 years, and looking at this view, you kind of get why people never wanted to leave. Some of the homes along the way even have little signs out front, and some are private residences, while some are small guest houses. In winter, the Marktplatz is relatively quiet, cozy, and feels like a snow globe. In the summer, this place is full of flowers, festivals, and live music. So, after spending a day here, what can I say about Hallstatt? Well, for one, it's more than just a pretty postcard. There's something almost surreal about this town, and it's the way it clings to the mountainside, the way the lake reflects the sky. So, would I recommend coming here? Absolutely. And I would even recommend coming early, or staying a night, to see it without the crowds. Now, if you're looking for a quieter, more peaceful place to stay, that's still close to Hallstatt, I have a great tip for you, because you can consider Obertraun. Just a short drive from Hallstatt, Obertraun is like Hallstatt's quieter cousin. You get all the amazing Alpine views, the serene atmosphere, and it's still just a stone's throw away from the town center. It's perfect if you want to wake up to peaceful lakeside views without the crowds, yet still be close enough to enjoy all of Hallstatt's highlights. You can even get to Hallstatt by a short boat ride if you're feeling extra adventurous. Located on the opposite side of Lake Hallstatt, with the 2 towns separated by just 5 to 10 minutes by car. And if you're driving, it's an easy and quick trip. Finding accommodation in Obertraun is relatively straightforward, especially during the off-peak season. Obertraun is an excellent spot for nature lovers. And you can go hiking, skiing, or even visit the Dachstein Ice Cave and Five Fingers viewing platform, which are only a short drive away. Before I wrap up, if you're a fan of charming towns like Hallstatt, you'll love our video from Morella, in Spain. It is this stunning medieval hilltop village that's also tucked away in the mountains, full of rich history, gorgeous views, and picturesque streets. Definitely check it out if you love exploring beautiful hidden gems, and to make it easier, I'll leave an end card to it, just click on it. Now, if you've enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on more travel adventures. Drop a comment below. Let us know if you have been to Hallstatt, or is it on your bucket list? I can't wait to hear your thoughts.